Look at the stock market right now. Everyone is obsessed with one word: AI. Millions of retail investors are pouring their savings into tech companies and chip makers, terrified of missing the next gold rush, but they are playing the wrong game. While the public is fighting over software, the smartest money on Wall Street is quietly buying up something else entirely: power plants. Here is the terrifying truth that mainstream financial news is ignoring. AI is starving. A single AI query uses 10 times more electricity than a standard Google search. The power grid is already stretched to the breaking point. Data centers cannot be built fast enough, not because they lack microchips, because they lack electricity. In this video, I am going to show you the massive hidden bottleneck threatening the entire AI revolution. And more importantly, I will reveal the invisible infrastructure where the real wealth transfer of the next decade is actually happening. From small gas turbines to independent microgrids. This is the blueprint they do not want you to see. Do not buy another tech stock until you understand this. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine your home is connected to a giant water pipe. That pipe delivers water to your kitchen, your bathroom, your garden. For 20 years, the pipe was big enough. Everyone got their share. Now imagine someone builds a swimming pool factory next door. Not one pool, hundreds, thousands, all filling up at the same time. Suddenly, when you turn on your kitchen faucet, nothing comes out. That is exactly what is happening to the American power grid right now. And the swimming pool factory is called artificial intelligence. Here is the number that should keep you up at night. In 2024, data centers in the United States consumed about 183 terawatt-hours of electricity. That is more than 4% of all the electricity used in the entire country. To put that in perspective, that is roughly the same amount of power consumed by the entire nation of Pakistan in a single year. And it is about to get much, much worse. By 2030, that number is projected to grow by 133% to 426 terawatt-hours. But wait, that is just the national average. The pain is not spread evenly. In Virginia, data centers already consume about 26% of the entire state's electricity supply. In North Dakota, 15%. In Iowa, 11%. These are not small numbers. These are earthquakes happening beneath the surface. Now think about what this means for you personally. Goldman Sachs released a report just weeks ago showing that electricity prices jumped 6.9% in 2025. That is more than double the overall inflation rate. And this is not a temporary spike. Goldman says prices will continue to rise through the end of the decade because data centers now account for 40% of all electricity demand growth in America. Let me translate that into kitchen table language. The average monthly electricity bill for an American household went from about $121 in 2021 to $156 in 2025. That is a 30% increase in just 4 years. Nearly 4 million households had their power disconnected in 2025 because they could not pay their bills. 4 million families sitting in the dark. And here is the part that should make your blood boil. While your electricity bill went up 25% between 2020 and 2024, commercial users like data centers saw barely any price increase at all. Industrial users actually saw their rates go down. Residential customers are subsidizing the AI revolution. Your toaster, your heater, your air conditioner are competing with thousand-server racks training the next large language model, and you are losing. In Baltimore, the average power bill jumped by more than $17 a month after a wholesale power auction hit record highs. Why? Because the region is a data center hotspot. A Bloomberg analysis found that more than 70% of locations with the biggest electricity price increases are within 50 miles of major data center clusters. The PJM interconnection, the nation's largest grid operator covering 13 states from Illinois to North Carolina, saw its capacity price explode from about $29 per megawatt day to $329 per megawatt day. That is more than a 10 times increase. And every penny of that eventually lands on your monthly bill. Senator Elizabeth Warren launched a federal investigation into big tech companies, saying residential electricity bills are skyrocketing because of data center construction. Since early 2025, household electric bills have gone up 13% nationally. Think of it this way. AI is like a massive invisible parasite attached to the power grid. It is growing bigger every single day, and the host, that is you, the ordinary ratepayer, is getting weaker. But this is just the surface. The real story is not about rising bills. It is about who designed this system and who is profiting from the chaos. That is what I am going to reveal next. Everything I just told you about rising electricity bills, that is the symptom. Now let me show you the disease. For the past 2 decades, electricity demand in America was basically flat, almost no growth at all. Utilities got comfortable, power plants aged, the grid got old. 70% of America's power lines were built over 25 years ago. Many date back to the 1960s and 1970s. Nobody invested in new capacity because nobody needed it. Then, almost overnight, artificial intelligence arrived and flipped the table. The problem is not just that AI needs more power. The problem is that the grid physically cannot deliver it fast enough. When a tech company wants to build a new data center, connecting to the grid is not like plugging in a phone charger. It requires massive infrastructure upgrades, new substations, new transmission lines, new transformers. And the wait list for a grid connection now stretches 5 years or more. 5 years. In the technology world, 5 years is an eternity. So what are the biggest companies on Earth doing? They are doing something that most investors completely miss. They are building their own power plants, right next to their data centers. Completely independent from the grid you and I depend on. This is the secret no one is talking about. The future of AI is not about better chips. It is about who controls the electricity. Microsoft partnered with Chevron and GE Vernova to build dedicated natural gas power plants specifically designed to fuel data centers. Meta is building on-site gas turbines and reciprocating engines that can produce 400 megawatts of power without touching the public grid. Oracle is deploying fuel cell microgrids. CoreWeave, the cloud company that skyrocketed after its IPO, became Bloom Energy's first AI data center partner. A company called ProEnergy is literally taking retired jet engines from commercial airplanes and converting them into gas turbines to power data centers. They are recycling airplane engines because the demand for turbines is so high that manufacturers cannot keep up. According to Bloom Energy's research, by 2030, 38% of all data center facilities will use on-site power generation as their primary energy source. Not backup, primary. And 27% of data centers are expected to be fully powered by their own generation, completely off the public grid. Let me say that again. More than 1 in 4 data centers will generate all their own electricity within 5 years. They are building a parallel power system, a shadow grid that serves only them. GE Vernova, the company that makes gas turbines and grid equipment, signed more than $2 billion in direct orders from data centers in 2025 alone. That is 3 times more than the year before. Their total backlog has grown to $150 billion. Their CEO expects to have 100 gigawatts under contract in 2026. This is not a trend. This is a tectonic shift. Now here is where the architecture of this system becomes truly elegant and truly disturbing. The tech giants are not just buying power plants. They are building what the industry calls microgrids and hypergrids. These are self-contained energy ecosystems, gas turbines, battery storage, fuel cells, solar panels, all wired together behind their own meter. Completely independent, they can operate even if the entire public grid collapses. VoltaGrid ordered 1.5 gigawatts of behind-the-meter power generation equipment in February 2026 alone. They are partnering with Oracle and Halliburton to build distributed power solutions worldwide. The company even developed a specialized platform called Stable AI designed to handle the wild 40 to 70% power swings that AI workloads create. What does this mean for ordinary people? It means the wealthiest companies on the planet are quietly separating themselves from the same electrical grid that powers your home. They are building their own energy kingdoms. And when those kingdoms suck up natural gas, drive up fuel prices, and strain the infrastructure everyone else depends on, guess who pays the price? You do. This is the invisible architecture of inequality. A two-tier power system, one for the trillion-dollar companies, one for everyone else. And the one for everyone else is crumbling. But knowing the truth is only half the battle. What matters now is what you do with this knowledge. And that is exactly what I am going to give you next. Now that you see the machine, let me show you how to stop being crushed by it and start riding on top of it. The first thing you need to understand is this: every gold rush in history has the same pattern. During the California gold rush of 1849, most miners went broke. The people who got rich were the ones selling pickaxes, shovels, and blue jeans. Levi Strauss did not dig for gold. He sold pants to the people who did. The AI revolution is no different. The pickaxes of this era are not microchips. They are turbines, transformers, fuel cells, and power cables. The companies building the invisible backbone of AI are where the real wealth transfer is happening. Let me break this down into 3 layers. Layer 1. The power generators. These are the companies that build the machines that make electricity. GE Vernova is the dominant player. They make the natural gas turbines that data centers are desperate to buy. The company reported $38.1 billion in revenue for 2025 with a net income margin of 12.8%. Their earnings guidance for 2026 is $41 to $42 billion, and management expects their backlog to reach $200 billion by 2028. Customers are now paying up front just to reserve a slot in the production line. That is how extreme the demand has become. Bloom Energy is another critical player. They make solid oxide fuel cells that convert natural gas into electricity without combustion. Cleaner, quieter, and faster to deploy than traditional generators. They have already deployed 1.5 gigawatts of capacity globally and are scaling to 2 gigawatts by the end of 2026. Their partners include Oracle, Equinix, and American Electric Power. One Wyoming data center project alone could represent $3 billion in revenue for Bloom. Layer 2. The grid connectors. Even with on-site generation, data centers still need transformers, switchgear, circuit breakers, and cooling systems. Eaton Corporation is the global leader in electrical switchgear and transformers. There is currently a worldwide shortage of transformers, which gives companies like Eaton massive pricing power. They are completing a $1.2 billion capacity expansion right now to meet demand. Vertiv Holdings makes cooling systems for high-performance AI chips. As liquid cooling becomes standard in 2026, Vertiv holds a $9.5 billion backlog with 28% organic revenue growth. Think of them as the company that keeps the most expensive machines on Earth from melting. Layer 3, the fuel suppliers. Every gas turbine needs natural gas. Every fuel cell needs natural gas. As data centers build thousands of on-site generators, demand for natural gas is surging. Natural gas power generation already makes up 43% of all U.S. electricity. As AI drives demand even higher, pipeline companies and natural gas producers are positioned to benefit enormously. Now here is the critical mindset shift. Most retail investors are staring at NVIDIA and hoping the stock goes up. They are playing the surface game. They see the AI boom and think software. But the AI boom is fundamentally an energy boom, and energy booms reward infrastructure builders, not just technology creators. Think about it this way. If someone told you in 2005 that smartphones would change the world, would you have invested in the phone makers? Maybe. But the biggest winners were the cell tower companies, the ones building the invisible network that made smartphones actually work. The same thing is happening right now. Data centers are the smartphones. Power infrastructure is the cell towers. But I want to be honest with you about something important. I am not a financial advisor. This is not investment advice. I am showing you the architecture. I am showing you the blueprint. What you build with it is your decision. What I can tell you with absolute certainty is this. The electricity crisis is not coming. It is already here. Every month you wait to understand this shift. The gap between those who see it and those who do not gets wider. The AI revolution is not a software story. It is a power story, and the people who understand that will be standing on the right side of the greatest wealth transfer of our lifetime. Everyone else will just be paying the electric bill.